What's up, everyone? Today we have a chainsaw here. It's a Husqvarna 357XP. The complaint on this is that when it's running, it will run if the throttle is pressed down the entire time and nothing else. If it goes to idle, it will die. So I have a few ideas on what it could be. Magnet. But let's just take a look. The first idea is that somehow the adjustment screws got wiggled out of place. Normal operation, they have a lot of vibration. It can sometimes do that. You can't put, it's not the red or whatever the super light Loctite in there. That just doesn't really lock it in, but just kind of like thin Play-Doh almost. It doesn't have the compression release. Yeah, it has enough compression, so that's good. My next idea is checking the condition of the filter and everything, just to kind of take a look. It's not horrible. I don't know if I have one of these carb kits. But my other idea, in fact, let's move it over here. So my other idea was that it's obviously a carb problem, but like I said, I don't know if I have a kit for that one. It's not your generic kit. Is there any fuel in here? Let's zoom a little bit. Oh my god, it's full. Okay. Well, I have not seen the problem personally, so let's put this back together, because it's only the filter so far. And just kind of checking the spark arrestor. It looks to be fine. There's only one screw holding the spark arrestor in. It's weird. Okay. We're gonna need a Phillips for this one. Wow, that's in there. Well, it looks to be fine in there. I'm not too concerned. While we're in here, let's look at the plug. I mean, it's probably not the plug, but oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen it worn out so much. Let me get my gauge. Get some of the filler gauges out. We'll probably have to use a couple of them. Let's just use like the two biggest ones. Not quite. Let's just do like these two. Random amounts, or no. Still isn't. Oh, I'll just get the spark plug gauge. It's gonna take forever. There it is. So it's supposed to be at 30 thousandths, which is right there, and it's definitely not at that. It is pushing 45 or more. Just for curiosity, I'll just take a look and see if it even sparks. I mean, I would assume it would because it's working at high speeds. Is there an on and off switch? There is, but what's off? I think that's off. That's off, yeah. Yeah, that plug is worn out. Let me get a new plug. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have and they probably can't see the light's horrible. NGK BPM8Y. It should be not exactly the same, but something that's very, very equivalent. There's the other one. Oh, it's still on there. The other one was a NGK BM4A. But it should be. You know what, before we even do that, just plug this one in and see what happens. Because before, I think I saw a spark, but not in the center. It was like the sparking on the electrode. Sparking to like the block. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. So let's see what gap this has. I'm pretty sure it's close to 330. I mean, it's actually maybe just a tad under, but that's not bad. Maybe at 28. 29. Let's see here. Anything else we should look at while we're in here? Exhaust for looking at the fuel looks good. I don't think I have another filter, but I will blow it out just in case. So let me blow this out. I'll put the cover back on and we'll give it a test run. Okay, so just as usual, don't do what I'm doing. I'm wearing flip-flops. I don't feel like any shoes on. The blade brake is on though, so don't do what I do. But just so you know, not a good idea. But anyway, moving forward. You're probably going to be blocked by my arm, but unfortunately my arm has to work. Not too bad so far. Well, it definitely wasn't doing that before. It would die pretty much almost instantly. Maybe a good half second, 1.5 seconds. So it's a lot better. So let's try the tune and see if that helps at all. I put in the low screw about a quarter of a turn, and I did about half a turn in as well on the idle to raise the idle and to make it leaner at the same time. Probably shouldn't do two, but I did. Let's put the brake back on. Oh, that's right, I put the side off. I'm going to tighten the chain. That seems a little loose. Okay, so I tightened the chain. Something that I probably should have done in the very beginning is you never want to start a chainsaw without checking the chain first. It appeared to be pretty good, but once you spin it over, it just got really loose. I have a video on how to sharpen and properly tighten the chain. In there, it's going to say that this is how I do it. If you ask anyone, it's always going to be different, so this is how I like to do it. But let's give this a yank and see what happens. Let's try no choke first. Obviously, it's too lean. If it instantly does like that, usually means that the lean screw is too lean. So let's try this again. Still too lean. It might still need a carb cleaning. Let's do like that. Still doing. That's what I was doing before too. Let's do another turn, quarter turn out. We'll do the idle screw one more turn in, and see if that helps. And now it's doing the same nonsense. Let's take it over to the table. So let's see what we have going on here. I'm really hoping that two things happen. I'm pretty sure none of them are, but hoping two things happen. One, I take off this carb and it's not going to be super bad. And it just needs a good cleaning. I already have the heater on. My other thing, and I don't have to buy a kit. I'm really hoping this diaphragm's okay. That's would be the ideal scenario. If that does not happen, we'll obviously have to buy one. Can't really get around that. And how do they expect you to take this out? There's a screw down there. Wow. Okay. The fuel lines actually feel really nice. I'm assuming that's the in. Well, I feel like this is going to be a fairly intensive program here, so let's do this. burn myself again. There we go. And is this the right one? Yeah, that works. Just see what the condition is of the diaphragm before we do anything. If it's really bad, we'll know we just have to stop, let it cool, get a new one. Because right now it's pretty warm. Probably going to leak gas a little bit, but it does what it does. It has 2 gaskets. How weird. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not horrible at all. I mean, could use a new one, but it's not bad. Put it back on to make so we don't contaminate anything more. That's just so weird. It has like 2 surfaces or 2 gaskets. So, what I think we're going to have to do, it's a lot easier if it doesn't have any fuel in it. Pinch off the fuel line. Let's see if we can't lift it up and then get enough angle to kind of take off this little intake area for the air filter holder housing or whatever. And then at that point, hopefully we can get we're able to get something in here to undo the screws to take it out. Actually, we probably want to keep that on there. I don't know if this fuel line plier is going to be big enough, or it's going to be too big. Yeah, probably. Need on those pliers it is. Came off fairly uneventful. That's good. I had worked on another Husqvarna that was very, very similar to this. I tell you, they do not have the thought that you are ever going to have to do any type of maintenance to this whatsoever. I think there's a little clip right there from the looks of it. Just maybe bend it out of the way. Oh, it goes off that side, okay. Whatever, either way works for me. probably just saying hand, but just imagine struggling. There we go. Oh, come on. Get out of there. There we are. There's at least one part of it. What else is holding us back? Maybe these rubber holders instead of, they don't come with it. Like little buffers maybe. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Imagine being the poor person that has to put this together in the factory. Imagine that day's like. Every day, day in, day out. Okay, so I think we can at least get in there. So, okay. Burn myself again. Good thing it has a flexible intake, a little boot. There's one screw. This one hopefully will come out without much fuss. There we are. So now, should be pretty close, except for maybe the choke. There we are. Choke just clipped in off. Oh, that's it. Okay. It's Walbro. There's a slim possibility I still have the kit I'm thinking I do. I hope I do. Well, even then, the other one wasn't too bad, but if I do have one, I'll see. Let's take it to the carb station. Okay. So yet again. Man, never would imagine a burn would take so long to heal. But that's one of the complications of being a small engine mechanic and not paying attention. Luckily, it's not much to do today, because I'm waiting for parts for basically everything. So today we will be able to at least put everything back together. If it doesn't work, then we order the kit and we know exactly what we have to do. Because I know I've bought one of these kits before, I know. But did I use it? That's the thing. I feel like I probably did. Why would I have bought it if I wasn't going to use it? Okay, so the white is half, 1, 1/2, 2, and 2 1/4. Let's try the black one. It seems to be kind of holding it in there. There we go. Half, 1, almost 1.5. So let's do 1.5 and 2.5 when we put it back together. It's always better to be a little rich than a little lean, especially in a 2-cycle. And how long are these screws? Well, maybe that plastic's not holding it in. These are legitimately still in there. Okay, this side's out. What a weird little system. Let's make it deleted. Okay, what am I missing? It's still in there. Wow, okay. Finally. Okay. Let's put this in the cleaner, and we'll look at that a little bit more. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's out. Looks very, very clean. It wasn't that dirty to begin with. It was a little grimy with the needles, but this also doesn't look horrible. It's very clean in there. I don't think that would be the problem anyway, but what we are going to do is this. I'm going to put it back together, and because the diaphragm is facing up and very easy to get to, and the other gaskets that go with it, I think if we do need it, or I'll get in touch with the owner and ask if they want to, assuming it's running good, we'll still put a new one in. If not, then we'll just take it from there. Okay. If it's not running good, then we'll obviously have to tell them we'll have to get a gasket or a new diaphragm for it, but one step. Slide over. There we go. I do want to check the float level though on this. Oh, there it is. Or just the general arm level, I should say, because these tend to need a tad bit of adjustment, I've noticed. I could be wrong, but I mean the height of this, it's escaping me right now. It's a Walbro. It's a, I think it said HDA. Yeah, HDA on it. So we find our Walbro HDA, which is not on the side. HDA right there. There we are. So that means it should be level. That is right on. I'm not going to worry about that one bit. What I also did do is whenever I don't have a new diaphragm, I do like to get some WD-40, just kind of lightly coat it. Take a clean towel. Does that look right? Not really. There we go. Now it lines up nice. Does this have a preference of how it goes? Not like that, that's for sure. Perfect. The bad part is probably gonna have to pull on this thing. What's that? It's dog hair. A decent amount before it will actually start to suck fuel up. Because it doesn't have a primer bulb, so it needs to have the suction of the engine to get the fuel into the little cavity with the diaphragm to then be sucked into the throat and then burned. How fuel travels, it's going to have to travel a long ways. Go through the line into this side of the carb, make its way through the other side, fill up that little chamber, then get sucked into the throat, go on the underside of the engine, and then go into the combustion chamber, and then finally, after all that, be burned. As you can imagine, that's going to take a little bit of time. Okay, so big one is right there. This should be fun. Maybe we'll start with the black one. Just kind of get that started so it's something to hold on to. Don't want to cross-thread it either. What a horrible design. See if we can push that down. That's as far as it's gonna go. For now. Well, this one is going very nice. Just down again. Well, we're just going to take it off. Why didn't I do that in the beginning? It's like a mile-long needle. Okay, so that one's sunk down. half, 1, 1.5. What do you say? 1.5 and 2.5? 1 3/4. Half, 1, 1/2, 2, 2.5. This black thing back on. Something's getting hung up on it. Now let me just put it back on the machine. Okay, looks to be back together. Let's put some choke on. And like I said, I'll probably pull on this a decent amount before we'll do anything. Wish me luck. Running a tad rich, so let's change that. Or could just have to do the throttle. I don't remember where I saw it, but let's see what happens when I do that. Puffs of smoke. Let's turn this down a little bit. Turn this up a little bit. Let's see. Under here is that diaphragm. That's what I was saying. I'm not too concerned if I have to buy a new one because I want to take it out. I'll just take this off and then clean the surface if I need to. That'd be probably the hardest part. But the diaphragm is not very fluid. It will kind of keep the fuel too low or too much. Depends on which way the diaphragm is holding it. If the diaphragm is just kind of stuck in the upward position, the needle is never going to be lifted up. Now, when you put full throttle on it, it has enough suction from the engine and everything is, there's enough to suck it down to suck more fuel, but when it's just idling, it's just not quite enough. I think it's starving for fuel. So I need to order an HDA kit. Ideally just the gasket. I'm going to look around one more time because I know I have one. I'm going to look around. If not, we'll pick this up in a few days when I get it back in the mail. But I just think that's what's happening. It was good there for a second, but over time it just started falling back on its face. And when it starts to get low, you notice it start to speed up until eventually it just died. So what happens when it gets lean? So let's take a look. So finally got it. It's this kit. It's made in Brazil apparently, but whatever. But to explain how long it's been, let's see here. I started this, I was wearing flip-flops and shorts and no jacket, and now I'm wearing shoes and a jacket. It's been super cold out. But what can you say? It was delivered by UPS, so we're just lucky we got it. So let's take all the little bits out. Looks like that is the gasket we're gonna need. I also have that one. All the other pieces I'm not too worried about, but maybe that one, not sure yet. So we want the one with flaps, and we put that down first. That doesn't seem right now, does it? Probably because it's upside down. There we go. See how those little flaps cover the holes? How they're little tiny doorways that allows fuel to come in and out. Okay, so that goes on like so. Tight, but not super tight. And this is already cleaned and everything, but I think I'm going to probably blow it out. Which means me putting the other side on is completely useless. But let's just make sure that diaphragm's the right one. I think it is. That would be very important. Oh, that's right, you need two of them. I forgot there's that little spacer there. So, first things first, let's check this out. that actually goes like this. The holes seem to line up. Then we have this. The holes do not line up there though, but how necessary is that one? So this goes down on the diaphragm. This. No, this goes like that. So what does this do? Let's find out. That just allows fuel or something. Maybe it's pressure. That would make a little bit more sense to kind of flap, 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 but you know what? We're gonna go with it. So far it all fits. And the little ridge on it appears to be the same height, so that's good. I'm really not going to change this one. Does this have a hole? I bet that's what that does, it just vents it out. I wonder if I could just add a hole. And then I would have to add a hole in the other one too. Like this. Yeah, they're both like that. I bet that's why it needs to be vented. Let me see what I can do to fix this. So I did a little looking around. This is the old one. So yeah, that's exactly what it does. That hole is the one we're missing. If you look at it, it just goes square in there. And that just goes to is that the choke? Yeah, so that just goes to like the air box. So we have two options. One, we can modify this one. Or two, we can take this and drill a hole in it. I'm not a fan of that idea though. So I think I'm going to modify that. So I just got done blowing everything out. Took this off, blew through there, and everything's fine now. But what I did do is I took my torch and I got the end of this pick very hot. You can tell like the discoloration of it. And while on this little base, I stuck it through and I made a little hole. It's not as big as the other one, but it's just a vent. So I do believe it should be fine, but we are going to have to reuse this gasket anyway, so oh well. It's still good condition. No, I had it right. I've had to do that a couple times with the carburetors. This kit says it fits this exact carburetor, and for the most part it does. It says it fits a couple of them, which is why there's other pieces. But I guess it just happens sometimes. There we go. Why they don't just drill a hole in this plate, who knows, but they don't. I thought about seeing if I had a small little punch, but the punches and these don't really go together very well. Tend to rip, especially when they're dull. Got it all together. Same as before, the carb's completely dry, so it's going to be a few yanks before fuel even gets to the carburetor. But to make it easy on yourself, make sure it's on. And the choke's on. Okay, somewhere. I took the cover off to make it easier to see where the tuning screws are. I have no doubt the high is probably okay. The low seems to be a tad rich. I screwed it in maybe like an eighth of a turn or less. 10th? 12th? watch me struggle to put this top on. I want to go over chainsaw starting in general. So I decided to bring out some show and tell, but kind of what I was getting at, when you start up a chainsaw, I guess for any 2-cycle equipment in general, but a chainsaw that's especially bad on, you don't want to rev it very fast, very long. I mean, you can rev it up when it's first turned on, don't get me wrong, but don't just blare it and then start cutting instantly. What a warm up. 30 seconds, a minute, it needs to warm up. So this is the reason why. You see how the side of this piston dirty? Yes, I know. Obviously this is not the piston that's inside of this, but it's clean. This is the intake side. Now, if you look at this one, it's all scraped up and nasty. That is the exhaust side. The exhaust side of it, it's going to always run hotter, and if you're running this thing at 10,000 RPM or under a heavy load, it's not going to warm up correctly. There's different metals in there. You can cause like a pretty bad score on your piston or even your cylinder. You might have to replace both. Assume you don't just replace the whole thing. So let it warm up and then start cutting. Don't just go at it. At least 30 seconds to a minute. You could rev it up once or twice, that's fine. I did it. But don't always do that, and don't do it for a very short amount of time or for a very long amount of time. Keep it short. So that should be the end of this one. Hopefully everyone found it useful. If this helped you out, let me know. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the section below. If you have any concerns or anything, let me know that as well. I will see everyone later. Definitely subscribe, throw a thumbs up, that helps me a lot. I will catch everyone later.